Every rider watching this already knows what I'm about to say. They just have not heard anyone actually say it yet. Because the moment you say any of this out loud at a bike meet, the comment section turns into a civil war. So consider this your permission slip. 10 things every motorcyclist knows deep down, backed by actual data, that nobody wants to be the first one to admit. And fair warning, number 10 is the one that is going to sit with you long after this video ends. Number 1. Loud pipes don't save lives, and you know it. This is the sacred cow of motorcycle culture. Say it at a bike night, and you will get looks like you just insulted someone's mother. A 2021 study by Romania's Polytechnic University of Bucharest and Dutch research firm EnviroConsult tested motorcycles producing up to 110 decibels at varying distances around a stationary car. Inside a modern vehicle with the windows up, even very loud motorcycles were difficult or impossible to hear soon enough to affect a driver's reaction. Only one of 6 bikes tested could be clearly detected at 33 feet. Here is the part that really kills the argument. Exhaust pipes point backward. The Hurt Report, which remains the most comprehensive United States motorcycle crash study ever conducted, found that the most common multi-vehicle crash scenario is an oncoming car turning left across the rider's path. The sound is literally aimed in the wrong direction for the most common type of crash. By the time a driver hears your pipes, you have either already passed them or you are already in their bumper. Riders love loud pipes because they sound awesome. The idea that loud pipes save lives is just social cover, so you do not have to admit you are waking up the neighborhood for fun. Deep down, every rider with an aftermarket exhaust already knows this. Number 2, the wave is tribal and everybody keeps score. The motorcycle wave gets sold as universal brotherhood. 2 wheels, 1 family, all that. Except anyone who has been riding for more than a season knows it is basically a status check. Harley riders disproportionately wave only at other Harleys. Sport bike riders often skip the cruiser crowd. A DV and dual sport riders tend to wave at everyone and are widely considered the friendliest tribe on 2 wheels. Scooter riders get ignored like they are invisible. In the UK and Australia, where you ride on the left, the wave becomes a nod because your clutch hand is on the traffic side. And somehow even the nod has its own hierarchy. Forum threads on grassroots motorsports, Reddit, and Quora all tell the same story. Riders feel personally rejected when they do not get waved back. Some keep mental score across entire rides, for example, 3 waves, 2 returns, 1 ignore from a bagger. It is not brotherhood. It is ego confirmation with a hand gesture. And the funniest part? In IIHS's well-known 2007 analysis, cruisers and standard motorcycles had a fatality rate of roughly 5.7 per 10,000 registered vehicles. Super sports ran about 4 times higher. The riders on the statistically safest bikes are often the ones being the most selective about who deserves their left hand. Now, if the wave hierarchy surprised you, this next one is going to sting even more. Number 3, you judge every rider's gear every single time. ATGATT riders, meaning all the gear all the time, will publicly say, ride your own ride. Very accepting, very chill. Then they spend the entire gas station stop mentally cataloging the guy in flip-flops and a tank top as a future organ donor. Meanwhile, the no-gear crowd quietly thinks the full-suit riders look like they are cosplaying a Power Ranger on their way to a track day that does not exist. The nicknames say it all. Squid for the gearless rider, Power Ranger for the armored one, Rub, rich urban biker, for the weekend Harley rider with a pristine jacket and 0 highway miles. The data is not ambiguous here. NHTSA estimates helmets are roughly 37% effective at preventing rider fatalities and about 67% effective at preventing brain injuries. And helmet laws work exactly the way you would expect. In states with universal helmet laws, compliance is high and helmet-related deaths drop. In states without those laws, over half of fatally injured riders were not wearing one at all. Both sides know the numbers favor the gear wearer. Neither side will say so to the other's face while filling up at a gas station. It is the coldest Cold War in motorcycling. And while we're being honest about things riders hide, let's talk about money. Number 4, you've lied about how much all of this costs. Every rider has done the math and then immediately hidden it. A realistic first year on an $8,000 used motorcycle commonly lands between $10,000 and $12,000. Once you add gear, insurance, registration, the first service, tires, and the farkles you swore you wouldn't buy but ordered at midnight anyway. RevZilla puts head-to-toe gear at $500 to $1,500 minimum for entry level. A single Shui or Arai helmet runs $600 to $1,400 by itself. MoneyGeek's figures show full coverage motorcycle insurance averaging $571 per year nationally, but depending on the rider, bike, and zip code, sport bike insurance can jump from hundreds per year into the thousands. Forum threads on BMW Sport Touring and Reddit are full of riders strategizing how to disclose purchases in stages, store gear at a friend's house, or round down the price by $2,000 to $3,000 when telling a spouse. And nobody, absolutely nobody, brings up the NHTSA statistic at dinner. According to their 2024 data, motorcycling is roughly 27 times more deadly per mile than driving a car. That number stays between you and your helmet, but that cost issue connects directly to the next truth, which might be even more uncomfortable. Number 5, you will sell that forever bike. The N+1 joke in motorcycle culture says the correct number of motorcycles is always one more than you currently own. It's funny because it's painfully accurate. Riders form genuine emotional bonds with their bikes. The ADV Rider Forum thread about selling your first bike runs hundreds of pages deep with people processing what is basically a breakup. Riders name their motorcycles. They talk to them in the garage. They customize them obsessively, spending hundreds on farkles, which is biker slang for the accessories and modifications that serve no practical purpose but feel absolutely essential at 2 a.m. on RevZilla's website. They swear on everything they will never, ever sell this one. Then 3 to 5 years later, there is a new model, or their riding style changes, or their back hurts, and it's listed on Cycle Trader with a description that reads like a eulogy, and the depreciation is brutal. Big custom builds often return only a fraction of what owners put into them, sometimes pennies on the dollar a decade later. The attachment is real, but so is the pattern. Saying I'm never selling this bike is the motorcycle version of I'm never drinking again. And speaking of things riders won't admit, the way experienced riders watch beginners is its own kind of silent comedy. Number 6, you see beginners making mistakes constantly. You almost never say a word. A study published in the Journal of Safety Research found that crash rates peak immediately after licensing, with a 42% improvement rate for younger novices and a 28% improvement rate for older and returning riders as experience builds. Insurance claim data consistently shows the first month of riding is the most dangerous period by a wide margin. The Hurt Report found that 92% of riders involved in crashes were self-taught or learned informally from friends and family, and that formal training was associated with both fewer crashes and less severe injuries when crashes did occur. So what do experienced riders see and bite their tongue about? Target fixation, a death grip on the handlebars, riding in the wrong gear, zero front brake usage, no head checks, blinker left on for 12 miles, buying a 600 cubic centimeter super sport bike as a first bike because the internet said, just respect the throttle, skipping the MSF course entirely, and the all-time classic, I do not need a jacket, it is just a quick ride. Seasoned riders clock every single one of these from 30 feet away. They also know that telling another adult you are doing it wrong is the fastest way to get told off at a parking lot meetup. So they nod, they ride away, and they quietly hope for the best. Number 7, gear snobbery is real and mostly pointless. Here's what most riders don't realize about helmet certifications. DOT and ECE 22.06 are not the same standard. ECE 22.06 requires independent third-party lab testing before a helmet ever reaches a shelf, tests for rotational impacts, tests the chin bar, and uses tighter energy thresholds. DOT is self-certified by the manufacturer with random NHTSA spot checks afterward. But what riders miss in the snobbery debate is this. you can get ECE 22.06 protection in helmets starting around $250 to $300. You don't need the $1,400 flagship to get a serious modern safety certification. Revzilla's own staff has publicly said you don't need a $1,500 track helmet for street riding. The in-group hierarchy, though, runs deep. Dainese at the top, Alpine Stars close behind, then Revit, then budget brands, then whatever comes in an Amazon box with no brand name anyone recognizes. Riders quietly judge the logo stitched into another rider's jacket the same way sneakerheads judge shoes. Nobody says it out loud. Everybody does it. What you're actually paying for above the $200 mark is ventilation, weight savings, comfort, a wider visor, and honestly, tribal signaling. A properly fitting budget helmet protects your head almost identically to the premium one. You're buying bragging rights and better airflow. And every rider who's spent $1,400 on a helmet knows this somewhere in the back of their mind. They just never want to hear it confirmed. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. We cover the honest side of motorcycle culture every week. Now let's get into one that divides riders by geography as much as opinion. Number 8. Lane splitting is a safety argument and a boredom argument, and riders mix them up constantly. The pro-splitting case has real data behind it. A 2015 University of California Berkeley SafeTrek study found that lane-splitting motorcyclists in California were less likely to be rear-ended and less likely to suffer head, torso, or fatal injuries than non-splitters, as long as speed stayed under 50 miles per hour and the speed differential stayed under about 15 miles per hour. The American Motorcyclist Association, the Motorcycle Industry Council, and the Motorcycle Safety Foundation all support it. But a French naturalistic riding study found that lane-filtering riders had roughly 4 times the per-kilometer injury risk compared to in-lane riding. A separate study found that splitters' situational awareness narrows significantly, focusing almost entirely on getting through gaps rather than scanning the full environment. The honest truth? Most riders are not splitting at the disciplined 10-mile-per-hour differential the Berkeley study found to be lower risk. They are threading through at 20 or 30 miles per hour over, because sitting behind a Camry in 90-degree heat feels like a personal insult when you have 150 horsepower between your legs. Every rider who lane splits knows the difference between the safety argument and the impatience argument. They just blend them together when someone asks. Legally, full lane splitting is only sanctioned in California, with limited filtering allowed in Utah, Montana, Arizona, Colorado, and Minnesota. And if lane splitting data makes some riders uncomfortable, the next one is going to be a full gut check. Number 9. Supersport riders quietly know the math is not in their favor. This one stings, so I will just let the data speak. In the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's landmark analysis, published in 2007 and confirmed in 2010 in a peer-reviewed study by T.O. and Campbell, supersport motorcycles accounted for under 10% of all registered motorcycles, but represented more than 25% of all rider deaths. The fatality rate for supersports was roughly 4 times higher than cruisers and standards. Speeding was cited in 57% of fatal supersport crashes versus 27% for cruisers. The average age of a fatally injured supersport rider was 27. For touring bikes, the average was 51. It is not that supersports are unrideable death machines. It is that they are often available used for $5,000 or less, so the youngest, least trained riders end up on the most capable bikes in the lineup. A 21-year-old can buy a used R6 with 117 horsepower for the price of a decent couch. Nobody checks if they have taken a single training course. Veteran sport bike riders know this stat exists. They rarely bring it up because their identity is built around the idea that it is the rider, not the bike. And there is truth in that, but the numbers are what they are. Which brings us to the last one, and honestly, this might be the most important thing in this entire video. Number 10. Every rider has been genuinely scared. Almost none of them will say so. This is the one that might get the most pushback, which is exactly why it is last. The cultural script in motorcycling is about being fearless. You conquered the machine, you laugh at danger, you chose this life because you are built different. The reality, as veteran riders and writers at Revzilla's Common Tread and other outlets have openly admitted, is that experienced riders feel fear too. They just have a different relationship with it. Research on near-miss psychology shows that close calls produce disproportionate emotional intensity. Studies on post-crash psychology document post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, hypervigilance, and avoidance behavior after motorcycle accidents. The Hurt report found that in 2/3 of multi-vehicle motorcycle crashes, the other driver violated the rider's right-of-way. That left turn scenario, the classic phrase, "Sorry mate, I didn't see you," is one that almost every experienced rider has survived at least once. You know exactly what it feels like. The minivan that starts turning. The moment your brain calculates whether you can stop in time. The adrenaline dump that hits 3 seconds after you clear it. It replays in your head. It tightens your chest on certain intersections for weeks afterward. And almost nobody tells the group ride about it because vulnerability does not fit the script. You will hear riders talk about their crashes. They will show you the scar, laugh about the low side, maybe even brag about the one that totaled the bike. But the close calls where nothing happened, where the only damage was to your nerves, those stay quiet. Because admitting you were scared means admitting the thing you love can hurt you. And if you have ridden long enough, you know that healthy respect for danger is what keeps you riding. That is not weakness. That is the thing that separates experienced riders from reckless ones. Every rider reading the comments right now recognize themselves in at least 3 of these, probably more like 6 or 7. And that's kind of the point. The unwritten code works because everyone agrees to it silently. You judge the gear, you hide the spending, you downplay the fear, and you wave at some riders and not others. None of it is rational. All of it is real. Now you've heard someone say it out loud. If this hit home, drop a comment telling me which number got you. And if you want more honest takes on riding culture, the subscribe button is right there. I'll see you in the next one.